Hi guys! As we receive many requests every day for new models and we strive at Panthera to improve the product lineup we offer you, it was about the time we went yellow. So we're super happy to present you today the new electric starter kit for the bike RM250 as well as the ATV, the Mighty Quadzilla LT500. We're going to present you today the installation of both of these kits. First step is going to be to remove the original flywheel cover, which is going to be replaced by the starter housing. Remove the original gasket. We're supplying you with another gasket, better made to seal oil, since now that whole starter housing, the flywheel housing, is going to be running wet. There's going to be oil for the gears and all that. You're going to want to make sure that you properly clean the wall inside of that housing, as well as properly clean the gasket surface. You can more than likely use a little bit of Scotch-Brite or a little blade to gently clean the gasket surface, because the new housings need to properly seal and not leak any oil. So we're going to properly clean that one and make sure that everything's clean inside. We're now going to be removing the flywheel nut, which is not going to be used anymore. We supply with a bolting unit that put the starter gear on top of the flywheel and is secure with parts that we supply you. So it's a 17 millimeter socket for the flywheel. Now you're gonna want to remove the washer that's inside behind the nut, because it's not gonna be needed anymore and it would shim out the bolting unit, and we don't want that. So probably with a little pick, I'm gonna go get either a pick, or we're gonna completely remove the flywheel with a puller just to make sure that we remove it. Let's see if I can just take it out. Seems to be properly in there, so we're just gonna pull out the flywheel so I can take the washer off of it. It's actually good practice to remove the flywheel if you can, so you make sure that everything is clean behind it prior to the installation of the starter housing. So as mentioned, we're now going to just remove the washer that we wanted to take away from the flywheel originally. There we go. And we can realign the flywheel and put it back with the wood raft key right here. There we go. So the starter main gear, one-way bearing, and starter flange is all a one unit that we supply you. There's two tabs that locate in the hole of the flywheel right there to grab the flywheel and start the engine. So simply align the tab with the flywheel and secure it with the bolting unit. There we go. There's needle bearing that goes in the middle of the flywheel to keep it centered, and then we supply with a bolting unit that squeeze everything up together. Very simple unit that you just need a half-inch drive to fasten. So we're gonna put it all the way in, and the 500 needs a torque of 70 foot-pound in order to keep the force of the starting properly on the crankshaft taper. So let's grab the torque wrench and torque that flywheel in place. We're supplying you with a tool to hold the gear and use the grabbing mechanism of the one-way in order to hold the torquing force while you while you secure the bolting unit. Right now it's not all the way in, so let me just go a little way like that. That's fine. And we can now torque it. Slide it on top of the gear and hold it up. There we go. Good practice, just make sure that the one way still spin and it locks in the other way, so all good. We can now install the starter housing on top of the assembly. The starter housing has a central bearing made to slide on top of the bolting unit. It's made to centralize the whole starter housing and make sure that everything stays where it's supposed to. So put the proper gasket, the one we supply, that's made to seal oil properly, and just slide it on top of it. There we go. We supply you with 5 specific bolts. There's one inside here that you gotta make sure of it, and one behind where it's gonna be the electric motor. That's why it's not installed right now. We're gonna put the electric motor right after. Let me go grab my torque wrench, where we're gonna fasten these at 110 inch-pound. Alright, we can place the electric motor back in place, so simply slide it into the electric motor location, like that, and put the 2 bolts on the mounts. You can right away, since one of the 2 bolts of the starter mount is used to put the ground of the starting power, we tend to put it on the left side so you can run it underneath. And put it right here, so we're going to put it right where. There we go. Before we put the gears in it, the starter housing needs some oil for lubrication of the one-way clutch. Important, also make sure that everything spins properly. The one-way still spin clockwise and lock counterclockwise. Everything seems to be all right. We're gonna put 300 milliliter of ATF oil. Actually, maybe a little more than that, if I remember correctly, 350 for that one. Just make sure that the one-way is lubed, the bearing in the middle as well. So approximately 350. ATF oil is what we recommend. So let me go grab a little bit of oil. There we go. All right, so we're now ready to put the smaller gear in place, starting with the torque limiter gear, which is the central one. Very simple, just slide it in the bearing and make sure it meshes with the main gear. And then the crown gear goes on top of it, meshes with the torque limiter and with the electric motor. Make sure it's all, there we go. All right, put the cap back on with the supplied gasket, make sure it's properly in place. There we go. Cover bolts with 4 button head. I'm just gonna put them like that for now. Recommend to Loctite them just to make sure they don't come loose and you lose your gear and gear cover. But for now, we're just gonna put it like that. Torque them properly. So a 90 inch-pound is what we recommend, and ideally with some Loctite as well. I put that on. The wiring right now has been pre-installed on this bike just to make the video simpler. You only have to secure the wall wiring around the chassis and put the push button supply on your handlebar. Let me fold that. There we go. Let me show you real quick the battery box we're supplying for the kit. As I said, the wiring is pre-installed, battery box as well. This kit runs on 24 volt. So we're supplying you with a 12 volt cell made 24 volt battery pack that you'll have to recharge externally between rides. It'll start the bike quite a couple times. Just you need to recharge it when you're at home. Only other thing to put right now is the positive wire on the electric motor. Simple 10mm nut. Let me go grab a wrench for that. Go. And we're ready to fire it up.